Shall we sit? Can I present? Teresa, I present you my ritual. So the European Ombudswoman Shall we sit?
Can I can I slowly invite you to sit? Apologize for these few minutes of delay. We also have some people online, and so that we can start. So it's always nice we see new faces, old faces. This is usually twice a year, a point of encounter here for Cesk. And I have here just some some initial words just of welcome. My name is Filipe Martins. I am the director of Cesk, so I'm a Portuguese Jesuit. And with a lot of happiness, we have this program, this European Leadership Program, here in Cesk, running for 7.5 years now. So this is the 15 cohorts. And you know, as priests, when we have a microphone, we don't stop talking. And so to avoid this danger, I've written here just 3 words. I want to share 3 words with you. So it's a welcoming words, especially dear dear ELP fellows and alumni, dear families and friends, many of whom are online, so watching from all over Europe and beyond, dear ELP mentors, coaches and speakers. We also have them here in the front. Dear Cesk partners, companions in the mission, dear all. So of these 3 words, my first one this afternoon is to say I welcome you all with great joy here for this 15 ELP graduation. ELP, this European Leadership Program, has been running for 7 years now. And even if it keeps some or many of the original intuitions to form women and men for the European common goods, this program changed quite a bit. One of the original intentions was to provide this practical formation and insights about the European Union. And this element is still very much present. But in these last years, it has been complemented by reinforcing what you all know we call this integral formation: self-knowledge, self-development, volunteering, service, community. We lived together, so last Saturday we were together for this presentation of the personal mission plan of each one of you. And I was touched, I have to say, many of you referenced community, the community elements. How it was this community, we enabled you to grow during these 5 months, to feel well, to feel integrated in this city, in your jobs and experiences. So as an old Jesuit would say, it's never easy to keep the North Star, but it's always easier if you do it together with others. So this confirmation of the community intuition of ELP. There's a second word I have to our special guests that we have here. We have again Eric de Born. He is the director of UXIA, University Center St. Ignatius in Antwerp. UXIA has been a partner from the first hour. With them, we have this partnership for the Global South. So we always have a fellow coming from the Global South. We have a fellow from Congo, from Nicaragua, Morocco now, and it has been a great experience. Last time, just one note, last time, Eric decided to make a joke about the Jesuits, and I hope he doesn't repeat it. And apart from Eric, we are blessed this time and having with us as keynote speaker the European Union Ombudswoman Teresa Anjinho. Teresa, and we were just talking, so discovering the connection with the Jesuits, but she is a known Portuguese lawyer with an extensive career as civil servant and also elected official in the Portuguese Parliament, in the Portuguese administration, and now in the European institutions. You probably are aware that the role of the European Union Ombudsman is to prevent and investigate complaints of maladministration at the European level and to promote accountability and transparency. And I have to say, I didn't tell you, we have been following your work quite closely because we are working also in the Better Regulations framework. And I have to say, and this is not just because you are here, as with other civil society, environmental organizations, we are very happy with your dedication, the speed of your decisions, your recommendations, the clarity also. So thank you for this. Thank you for it. Thank you for, in the middle of a very charged agenda, we were just sharing, for finding the time to be this afternoon with us. And so it's with a lot of gratefulness that we have you here. Finally, my third words relates to this graduation. And something connected. Teresa is the European Ombudsman. Teresa is from Coimbra, a city where I lived as a Jesuit also 9 years. There's a highway. For those of you who know Portugal, there's a highway, many of the population, our main highway, to say like this, runs between Lisbon and Oporto. And whenever there's an exit of the highway, there's a reference, there's a word connected with the city. And I don't know if Teresa is aware of this story. The first sign to Coimbra in the first years, it said Cidade Museu. It means city museum. And the mayor of Coimbra, he was not happy at all, because he would say museum speaks of the past. He would joke it's for old people. And he would say it's better that we change for something that points towards the future. And so I heard him telling this story. I didn't rest until I could change to Cidade do Conhecimento. So the city of knowledge, the city of wisdom, we can also translate. Because knowledge and wisdom are built, it's true, on study and experience, but they all also encompass a promise and a potential for the future. And I think the ELP graduation has this exact meaning. We celebrate on one hand these past 5 months of these 18 fellows, but we also celebrate the future, your future, that lies ahead, so that you can put in practice the learnings, the wishes, the big aspirations for this common good, for making the world a better place that you could experience in ELP. So may this graduation be a good end to ELP. May it also be a great start of what comes ahead. Thank you.
Let me welcome you also on my behalf. I'm Boton Feredi. I'm in charge of the program, and this is also my 15th graduation. And I'm very happy that UXIA, the University Center St. Ignatius Antwerp, has been with us for all along these years, supporting the graduation and also some of the academic processes earlier. So, Eric, it is my pleasure to invite you for your short introduction speech without Jesuit jokes.
So, dear ELP fellows, dear esteemed guests, dear friends, as an organization that's closely connected to the ELP program and proudly supports its mission, it's always a pleasure to join your celebrations and to say a few words on behalf of UXIA at this graduation ceremony. Earlier today, I was in Lille, where UXIA is coordinating a summer school entitled European Humanism in the Making. And this year's theme is War and Peace. During the program, I had the opportunity to speak about the just war tradition, a centuries-old attempt to answer one of humanity's most difficult questions. Under what circumstances, if any, can the use of force be justified? It's a question that remains painfully relevant. We live in a world marked by instability, geopolitical tensions, and armed conflict. At the same time, many people wonder whether traditional frameworks for thinking about war and peace still have anything meaningful to offer. And in his first encyclical, Magnificat Humanitas, Pope Leo XIII observed that, and I quote, "It's important to reaffirm that the just war theory, which has all too often been used to justify any kind of war, is now outdated." End of quote. This concern, however, is not new. Throughout history, thinkers have continuously challenged, refined, and adapted the tradition in an effort to make it more responsive to the realities of our own time. And this evening, I would like to briefly introduce you to one such thinker, Leonardus Lessius, a 17th century Jesuit scholar who lived in the Low Countries, taught for many years in Leuven, and enjoyed an international reputation so impressive that he was often called the Oracle of the Netherlands. For his thoughts on war and peace, Lessius belonged to a long intellectual tradition that stretches back to St. Augustine and was further developed by medieval thinkers such as Thomas Aquinas. Yet what makes Lessius particularly interesting is that he sought to apply these ideas, not merely in theory, but to the complex political, military, and religious challenges of his own era. For Lessius, certain motives could never justify war. Greed, the pursuit of glory, the lust of power, and blind revenge were categorically unacceptable. The only legitimate reason for an offensive war, he argued, was the need to remedy a grave injustice that could not be resolved by any other means. Such injustice could involve material harm, such as plunder and destruction, but also violations of right, dignity, or lawful freedoms. He observed that at the beginning of almost every conflict, both sides are convinced that justice is on their side. More often than not, each side claims a monopoly on moral truth. And Lessius believed this was a dangerous illusion. Before resorting to war, a ruler had the duty to examine the claims of both sides with the impartiality of a judge. And if, after careful reflection, he concluded that his own claim was as strong or no stronger than that of his opponent, he was not entitled to wage war. Only when he was morally convinced that justice clearly favored his cause could force be considered. In other words, the ruler had to take the position of an impartial judge. As Lessius writes himself, in matters of war, a prince is a judge, and therefore he pronounces a verdict. A judge must carefully examine the fairness of the case at hand and the rights of both parties. This was an extraordinarily demanding standard, as Lessius realized himself very well. And that's precisely why he strongly encouraged the use of arbitration and mediation. Whenever possible, conflicting parties should seek impartial third parties to help resolve disputes peacefully. Remarkably, he even outlined procedures for appointing international arbitrators, ideas that would only become institutional reality centuries later through international organizations and system of global corporations, especially after World War I with the establishment of the League of Nations. This afternoon, the students participating in our summer school on humanism in the making visit the In Flanders Fields Museum in Ypres. There they will have experienced the gigantic impact of the Great War on everyday lives and the wider surroundings. It was a cataclysmic event with countless deaths and disruptive consequences that was the result of Europe sleepwalking, had to use a reference to the famous book by historian Christopher Clark, and unwittingly stumbling into war. Today, we find ourselves once again living through a period of profound uncertainty. Historical comparisons should always be made with caution, yet the Yale historian Odd Arne Wested invites us to reflect on certain parallels in his recent book, The Coming Storm: Power, Conflict, and Warnings from History. The international order that emerged after the First World War, and even more decisively after the Second, has come under immense pressure. Preserving it, reforming it, and strengthening it will require courage, determination, and cooperation. And above all, it will require new generations of leaders. Leaders who are principled without being dogmatic, confident without being arrogant, and ambitious without losing sight of justice and human dignity. That's an enormous task, but we trust in you. The challenges you will face are different from those confronted by Leonardus Lessius 4 centuries ago. Yet the qualities he demanded of leaders remain as relevant as ever: integrity, humility, wisdom, and prudence. And the task he set himself remains equally important: carefully engaging with different perspectives, weighing competing arguments, and applying the wisdom of a rich intellectual tradition to the pressing issues of the present. Not to preserve that tradition as a museum piece, but to keep it alive, relevant, and capable of speaking to new realities. This attitude is rooted in a holistic vision of formation, one that connects wisdom, experience, and action. It's an attitude with which you have become familiar through your immersion in the Jesuit ELP program. And as a Jesuit institution, it's also at the heart of UXIA's mission, where we seek to build bridges between academia, social organizations, and civil society. I sincerely hope that the experiences, friendships, and lessons you have gained through the ELP program will help you to cultivate that connection between wisdom, experience, and action throughout your lives and careers. And today, we celebrate that achievement. Congratulations to each and every one of you. May you continue to lead with courage, wisdom, and a profound sense of responsibility toward the communities and societies you will serve. And finally, allow me to end with a piece of traditional wisdom. If you want to die well, join the Dominicans. If you want to live well, join the Benedictines. But if you want to eat and drink well, join the Jesuits. But that's for later. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. You will have the consequences later. The invitation of the keynote speaker is actually a great example of how ELP is working, because the fact that we had Lucia Bano, one of our ELP alumna, working with the EU Ombudswoman allowed us to invite the Ombudswoman herself. So thank you also to Lucia, and thank you. I am very glad that you are with us tonight, and I am more glad to hand over and please deliver the keynote speech to our freshly graduating fellows.
Okay. You cannot imagine the pleasure that I have to be here with you tonight. So, good afternoon, everyone. It is a real pleasure to be here. I'm very grateful for the invitation. Thank you very much to Jesk, Philippe Martins, to everyone for bringing us together on this important occasion. I also promised myself to keep it short, but this is also usually a very risky promise for lawyers. It is not just for priests, but I will try and do my best, particularly after hearing what we have heard. Today is first and foremost a celebration of what you have achieved. But graduation ceremonies are not only about looking back. They are also about reflecting and looking ahead. Because you leave this program not only with more knowledge, but with a deeper sense of responsibility. So you have completed one mission, the European Leadership Program. The real question now is, what is next? For me, the answer is also rather simple: another mission. And unlike what happens in Mission Impossible, this message will not self-destruct. Because the mission you begin today is not for the next year or for your next job or even the next stage of your career. It is for your life. There are no deadlines, no exams, and also no ceremony at the end. It is only a lifelong commitment to the principles that have shaped this program and which from today onwards depends on you. What matters now is not what you have learned. It is what you do with what you have learned. To lead with vision, to lead with values, and above all, to lead through service and example. When I look at your generation, I see the future of Europe taking shape, a living project facing uncertainty, as we have heard, tensions and defining choices. We are living in a time where trust in politics, in institutions, is severely being tested, where public debate is polarized, and where the distance between citizens and decision makers grows slowly and gradually wider. This is the moment you are stepping into, not as spectators, but as active participants. You will help shape and protect what Europe stands for, not only in words, but in reality. And that is a privilege. Few generations are given the opportunity to shape rather than simply inherit, to influence not only policies, but priorities, direction, values. But with privilege, as you all may know, comes responsibility. Above all, responsibility for how you choose to act, because in the end, that is exactly what endures. That is what people will remember. And from where I stand as European Ombudswoman, this is what matters most. I often say that ombudsmen are in many ways agents of hope. Not because we can promise that every problem will be solved or every complaint upheld, but because we show that institutions can indeed listen, that fairness still matters, and that trust can be rebuilt. In my role, I see every day how citizens experience and interact with public administration. And what they ask for is, in fact, remarkably simple. They do not expect perfection. They expect to be heard, to be treated fairly, to understand why and how decisions are made, and to be treated throughout the process with dignity, respect, and compliance with applicable rules. When those elements are missing, trust begins to erode, vanishes, even when the outcome itself may be legally correct. And when trust is weakened, institutions themselves are weakened. The responsibility to act with integrity, with courage, we also heard, and to remain faithful to one's principles, even when it is difficult, I would say particularly when it is difficult, becomes therefore not only a personal matter, but a public matter. It means refusing indifference, refusing disengagement, and resisting easy answers when deeper reflection is required. I know this can feel demanding. At times it can feel uncertain, even overwhelming, as though you are expected, to have all the answers and have them now. You do not. I do not either. It is, however, in moments like these that these principles matter most. They are like a lighthouse in a storm. They do not calm the sea, they do not stop the waves, but they help you stay on course and direct you to the safe port. Whatever the route, the itinerary, the new pathways, the destination remains the same. There should be no fear in deviating from expectations, in exploring new paths, in testing limits, or even in failing. A change in direction is not a loss of direction. Often, it is through uncertainty that clarity emerges, and through setbacks that resilience is built. Allow me to share something from my own journey. It has not been a straight line at all. It has taken unexpected turns. There were moments when it felt as though the world lay open ahead, and others when it seemed too narrow to its limits. At times I found myself being driven by a strong sense of purpose, and at others I had to question myself, my choices, and my decisions. Yet, throughout, one thing remained constant: the principles that had always guided me. Respect for human dignity, commitment to fairness, and a strong conviction that institutions exist to serve people and not the other way around. Over the years, I have also come to value empathy, which I now consider an essential element of leadership. Empathy is not weakness. It is the ability to understand others without losing your own clarity. It allows you to listen, to build trust, and to act with fairness and integrity. I have seen, times and times again, the difference that this can make. Sometimes what resolves a situation is not a sophisticated legal argument. It is the simple act of listening carefully, of clearly explaining a decision, or of acknowledging a mistake. These may seem like small things. They are not. They are indeed at the heart of good administration. My journey has also been shaped by less visible challenges, rooted in expectations, in cultural assumptions, and persistent stereotypes. These are rarely explicit, but they quietly shape perceptions, opportunities, and the way people are judged. I experience it firsthand, often reduced to labels. I was too nice, too not authoritative enough, too soft, not combative, sometimes underestimated, and many times judged before I was known. In those moments, you are faced with a choice. You can adapt, you can conform, you can become what others expect to see, or you can remain true to yourself. I believe that it is exactly here that leadership begins. It means staying faithful to who you are, even when it would be easier to fit in. Because in the end, what matters most is not how others will judge you. It is how you judge yourself. Others will always have opinions, but they should never define who you are. When I decided to apply to become European Ombudsman, I was given many reasons why I would not succeed. I was told that I was too young. I was also too Portuguese. I was a woman, that I lacked visibility, that I lacked support, or even the right profile. Those doubts were difficult to bear, I confess. But I made a choice. I moved forward, holding on to one only idea. Sometimes the journey matters more than the destination. Because we do not always control the outcome, but we do control how we approach it. With integrity, with commitment, with courage, results will not always meet your expectations. But if you have given your very best, if you have remained true to your principles, there is no room for regret, only for learning, for recovering, and move forward. This has been my way of facing both success and disappointment. I accept, I reflect, and I continue. Because growth rarely comes from having all the answers. It comes from humility to learn and the courage, of course, to begin again. What has made this possible, what has sustained this path for me, are, of course, values rooted in my family and also in faith. A faith that reminds us that leadership is, above all, an act of service, and that human dignity must always come first. But there is something important that I also want to share that experience makes clear. Values do not operate on their own. Progress does not happen simply because we hold values. There is sometimes a tendency to believe that things will fall into place and that intention is enough. It is not. Values only matter when they are translated into action. They must be lived day after day through consistency, discipline, and commitment. Nothing meaningful happens without effort. Believing in yourself is not an abstract idea. It is something strengthened through preparation, perseverance, and showing up every single day. And it is through that sustained commitment that a path begins to take shape. By choosing your references, identifying the causes that matter to you, and embracing difference as a source of collective value. This is also the European project at its core, a union where unity was not imposed, but built through cooperation, solidarity, and respect for our diversity. We are indeed united in diversity. And in the end, each of you will find your own compass. What matters is that you have one and that you follow it, especially when it is difficult. Because it will be. The world you are entering demands competence and character, ambition, and a strong moral foundation. So the question is not only what you will become, but what you will stand for. Europe, in my opinion, does not need more careers. It needs more convictions. Congratulations on what you have achieved and on the mission you are about to begin. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madame Anginho, for the great speech. And I invite the public to put some questions if you want, because dialogue is one of the most important elements that we teach also during the program, right? And therefore, but of course, if the young population from Spain wants to interact, that's the moment. And also our mentors, friends, and other members of the Jesuit family present in the room are invited to put questions. Maybe we can take 2 or 3 at the same time. I'm sure you do have. About anything that Teresa can answer you.
If you want to ask about the Good Administration Award, you can.
Yuri? Wait for the mic so that the online viewers can also listen.
Thank you very much for this very beautiful insights. You mentioned at a certain point that leading is leading is also means to serve. like for instance, if you look at the word minister, it's like Latin for like servant, and I think in today politics it's often forgotten. Like often leaders think other people are serving them. So I was like wondering whether you could elaborate a bit on that, and maybe what like tips could you give to us, like to actually use our leadership in a good way, and never to forget to serve like others. Thank you very much.
Let us take 2 more questions.
Thank you. I'd like to ask you, I mean, your experience on leadership, because I think leadership is also shaped by the context and can also shape the context. And we are in a moment where everything around invites to develop a much more stronger leadership of a strong man, usually deciding strongly. And how can we remain committed to a different style of leadership and show also the world around that things can be done differently?
And the third brave questioner. Never returning chance, Imola.
I just would like to have a question about you're an ombudswoman. So, how do you feel when you're meeting with other leaders, who are usually men, or we're expecting that the ombudsmans were ombudsmans and not ombudswomen? Do you see that they look at you differently, or they're more soft or more hard on you? Just something related to that. Thank you very much.
Okay. So I don't know if I don't think this is on, but I can also speak loud. It's okay. It is. It's okay. 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 So leadership. I do not believe in just one role model of leadership. I truly believe that, as you said, leadership is shaped, and it is shaped depending also very much on your experiences. Of course, my experience might be very different from yours when you will become yourself the leaders of this world. But what is important is that we agree on the values. That's exactly what I was speaking about. And there are some values that should accompany us in the exercise of leadership. And that is exactly the respect for human dignity and the sense of purpose, and the fact that we recognize that this leadership comes with a huge responsibility, that is to serve and not being served. And to be very honest as well, sometimes I believe that in this world it's really very difficult to keep the fidelity to these principles, because indeed the world has changed, and as change, it is constantly changing. And in this rapid changer world, with all the urgency, sometimes people are more focused in delivering than in understanding how they are delivering. And in consequence, citizens, the recipients of that leadership, are forgotten. And it is here where sometimes the legitimacy gap starts. And I believe that it is what we should all, interested in this life, monitor, that is to guarantee that this gap does not continue to widen, and that decision makers do understand that legitimacy comes exactly from citizenship, from participation, and because without it, we will not have the trust, the necessary trust, even for the projects to succeed. One of the main lessons that I learned, so I had many experience from being a politician, an academic, a politician, and then the ombudsmanship. When I was in the academia, I was in love with the ideas, with the thesis, with my computer, with studying. That's for me my perfect program. And for me, the ideas had a worth of itself. As soon as I started my mandate in the parliament, I immediately understood that actually for ideas to be good, I needed two things immediately. I needed to be able to convince the others that they are good and have the money to implement it actually, because otherwise they would not go forward. And this is very important, because if you want to change the world, you should never forget also the realpolitik of it. And then as soon as I got into the ombudsman, even more important it was, because I understood that actually the ideal is it's not the top-down perspective, not even only the bottom-up, but it's the synthesis. It's where you encounter indeed the ideal, because there citizens have names, and we are able to recognize a very simple lesson, that not everything that is in the law is fair, and not everything is fair is in the law. And with this comes an important recognition of the importance of humility, the sense that if sometimes there are errors, if sometimes the laws are flawed and they need to be changed because they are unfair, it is not because we are immediately recognizing bad faith or criticizing the politicians or the decision makers because they did it out of bad faith, out of purpose. No, it's the recognition that actually reality is far more inimaginable than decision makers can encompass. And the recognition of this is where actually makes the European Ombudsman or an ombudsman institution so important, because our North Star, our main driver is material justice. We depart from the law, but we can go beyond it. And to make simple questions, is this fair? So if you want to serve with purpose, never forget not only to apply the rules, but to try and make the reflection, why is it that these rules were created? Because sometimes the reality changes. And when you apply those rules, you are indeed creating unfairness. And the second thing, equally important, recognizing mistakes, is something that I believe is mandatory of a good leadership. Because citizens as well are more and more attentive to the world, and they need responsive institutions. They demand responsive institutions. It is my belief that in this world, trust does not depend from the outcomes always matching the expectations, as I tried to say. You can retain the trust of citizens when you are able to be serious, engage seriously with citizens, to communicate honestly, establishing the limits of what you can do and what you cannot do. And if you're also reliable and consistent in the relationship with the citizens. In this case, for example, looking at the European institutions, how you deal with the procedures that affect citizens. So that is for me very important. I recognize that in the kind of complaints that I have today, what they show me is we are living a kind of a clash between a bottom up and a top down and a bottom up, because institutions feel the anxiety to go faster, to deliver faster, to centralize, to have more discretion. They feel the need, and in a way we understand that, because it is true that they have to go faster. But on the other side, we have the citizens that actually were promised, it's in the treaties, of this EU identity that is deliberative, participatory, fearing opacity and exclusion, and asking for more visibility, for more inclusion, for more transparency. So, and I see that also from my complaints, the access to documents complaints, and the other is the omnibuses complaints. So what you can have in the end is exactly this legitimacy gap, because in what institutions, the anxiety of the institutions and the anxiety of the society. It is not the end of the world. We've been talking about history. I mean, anyone that loves history understands that we've passed through more difficult times, but it's a time of adjustment. And what it is important is to guarantee that we are able to adjust, to adapt without losing ourselves. And how can we do this? Remaining faithful to our principles. So in the end of the day, the principles are, the light warehouse that you have to focus. When I receive my complaints, those are my driving forces, because indeed the kind of complaints that I'm receiving, many of them, they do not follow normal paths in the legal frameworks that we have, and they do demand a lot of reflection. And I never forget that my power comes from my independence, impartiality, but also from robust arguments that are, of course, anchored in the law, but very much anchored also in principles and in values. Uh, as for being a woman ombudsman, and I say ombudswoman, I do not feel, in at least my experience, I do not feel that. But I'm not going to say that we live in a world where discrimination, particularly discrimination against women, does not exist. It does. And I can tell you that my path has also been shaped a little bit out of that. First of all, the recognition that you are not just a woman, you have many other factors of identity. In Coimbra, and coming from a very conservative family, I actually, when I started doing my PhD, I wanted to do my PhD actually defending that there was no more discrimination against women, that actually we had the perfect legal framework, and that was not a problem, because indeed I had never felt discrimination myself until I was 22, 23 for sure, and that was the time when I started doing my PhD. And it was very interesting because I went to this professor in law, very feminist, and I said to her, Professora Teresa Beleza, she's well known, this is what I want to do. And she said, oh, so you think that's not a problem? Yes, I really want to work my thesis on this. I said, okay, Teresa, are you married? I said, I found it weird. I said, no. You have children? No. Okay, that will be interesting. So I will supervise your thesis, but just come to me after 2 or 3 years, in 2 or 3 years of time. I understood what she was saying then, because indeed, I married actually quite early for this time, with 25 years old. But from a conservative family, I have to say that after 22, I was already hearing my aunts and grandmothers saying, "Oh my God, she's the one still not married," and I wanted to save the world. I've always wanted to save the world, and I wanted to go abroad and to stay abroad. So I was not focused on that, but I was already hearing. Actually, they were presenting me to others, saying, "Teresa, she's the one not married." So, then I got married. I thought, okay, this is going to be over. Nothing more after that. But no, after that is, so when are you going to have children? So, oh my God, but I still need to do this, need to do that. So I spent a lot of time before having my first child hearing this. When I had my first child, I thought, now it's over. No, then comes the second. If you have one, you have to have the second. I mean, it's a family. You have to have a family. It's very interesting because I have 3. After the third, be careful, because actually people say exactly the opposite. It's enough, huh? you cannot go further. I mean, it's the structures. This is a funny story, but just to tell you, people will always. This is why I say people will always have opinions. This is why it is so important to be strong, to emotionally strong. And in my experience, this strength comes indeed from a strong family and rooted in values from very little. I do not say that I did not have my doubts, and that's also why I'm always saying you will also have your own doubts. But to doubt is good. It's healthy, because it's exactly in those doubts that you will continue. You will succeed, because you will learn. In this era of artificial intelligence, this is even more important, because indeed, we as humanity, we have grown with trial and errors. It's an ancient method. And unfortunately, we are losing this notion of trial and errors. We do not err. And that is not correct. We err, and we should move on, and we learn with that. That's why I think that the encyclica of the Pope. Actually, I have it with me. I'm finishing it. And I do advise everyone to read because it's very enlightening and important as a reflection to today's world, the importance of humanity. And I see that already in what I do and how I work. That's why I speak also about empathy. And that also shaped me because since I work so much in equality and non-discrimination towards women in particular, at least my path, and then deviations, um, it, it's empathy. I've grown with this notion that it's indeed in empathy, with empathy, that you are able to succeed. Because as I said, dealing with complaints and with people, I see that many times victory is not, the legal success. It's just the person looking at you and saying, thank you, now I understand, even though you're not solving the problem. I remember in Portugal, during the forest fires, the Ombudsman office had to deal with complaints related to housing. And there was lots of people that lost their houses, and they would go to the Ombudsman office with complaints when they were not receiving the benefits and the necessary compensations to rebuild their houses. Some of these houses were illegal. I mean, they had been illegally built. And there was this episode that my secretary said, I'm very sorry to bother you, but there's this person that actually is contesting. She thinks that you're not the one signing the letter, because I said that she would not have the possibility to receive the compensation because indeed the house was built in the middle of a protected area and it was illegal. So it was also a question of danger. She would not be afforded that compensation because from the beginning she could not have the house exactly in that area. And that person was saying, oh, it's impossible because she's a computer, because they see the digital signature. And I saw the case. I understood the vulnerability of the complainant, that she could not understand what I was saying. And I decided to call myself to the person. So I asked the telephone number and I called. The first reaction of that person was she cried. She was not believing first that it was me. When she believed that it was me, she started crying because she felt that she was forgotten by the system. And this is what I think institutions and you have the responsibility as future leaders of the institutions, because we can also be leaders also in our houses. We can be leaders in everything that we do. You should never forget. It's that responsibility to the people with whom you are relating in your job. In the end, of course, I could not change my decision, but I explained. I tried to identify the vulnerability and where the Ombudsman office could actually help this person. So what I wish you all is leadership with purpose, that you never forget the purpose, why you have chosen what you have chosen. Do not be afraid to fail. Have the courage to dare. Do not hear that much the people that are, telling you that you're not going to make it. Wait and see. You never know what happens. I'm Ombudswoman today, and there was not that many people saying that I was going to win at the time. And never forget where you come from. Yeah, particularly your principles. Remind yourself when you will be dealing with important cases and trying to influence policies, to whom those policies will be directed. And now don't forget that Europe has a European Ombudsman that is there to uphold good administration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for replying, and I'm also thankful for the questions. Now let me briefly explain what happens. So we are proceeding to the graduation part of the ceremony, where we will invite the fellows one by one on stage for a very short handover of the diploma. But before giving them the diploma itself, they will tell you, the public, what is their chosen word that they associate best with their ELP, the leadership program experience, and they will give a short explanation why, and also you might just start, your introduction with where you have been working in the last 6 months. Okay, so that's the idea. We will call you. So I invite our jury to stand. Please get the microphone for the fellows who are talking. And Eva Maria Castelletti can start.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Eva, I'm from Italy, and this past year I've been working with Caritas Europa in the Policy and Advocacy Unit. And the word that I chose is simply gratitude for all the kind and very caring people that the program allowed me to meet, and for giving me a real home and not just a house in Brussels.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stella.
Fernando Santiago Castellano.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? Yeah, my name is Fernando. I'm from Spain. I have been working at the permanent representation of Spain to the EU at the External Relations Unit, and I have thought about joy to describe the living at the house because every challenge became more meaningful through the people that I have shared it with. Thank you.
We feel like in a passerelle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gideon, and for the past 6 months I've been working here in Brussels with the civil society organization Pulse of Europe and a lot of things. And I've also been building up a startup project in mental health in Germany. And the the word I want to describe my 6 months is colorful, because the people I have shared these months with are a lot of very colorful themselves and surprisingly colorful to me, coming here with all their thoughts and convictions and philosophies, and yeah, so a very interesting time to spend together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, yes. So my name is Imola, and I was a Blue Book trainee at the European Commission. I'm still at the Research and Innovation Department, working on startups and scale-ups, where we almost know each other from. And my word is growing, because I think ELP was the perfect soil for us, and now it's our time to go and flourish in Europe.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're the nominee, so
this wonderful award. It's a Good Administration Award, and she was part of the group of a very important project that was nominated for Good Administration. Yeah, well done.
That's really happy. So, Isabel Rodriguez Carretero Rolda.
Hi, my name is Isabel. I'm from Spain, and these past few months I've been working on the permanent representation of Spain to the European Union in the Energy and Atomic Question Unit, and I've been very happy here. So the word I have chosen is grateful for the people, of course, for the memories and for the purpose that have made this program into a life-changing experience.
Thank you.
Something people must understand in the group, there's a fight between the number of Hungarians and Spanish.
The Italians have given up. As you understand it from the noise. So now a Hungarian. Yasmin Molnár.
Oh, sorry. Okay, hi. So I'm Yasmin. I've been a trainee in a consultancy in green energy for the past couple of months. And my word that I chose is support, because I think we have supported each other along these months, and we have also received immense support from the program. And I'm very thankful for that. Thank you.
Thank you. José Caspano Lemus.
Hello, everybody. I'm Pepe. I'm from the south of Spain. I have been working in public affairs, and the word I choose is self-leadership. Not in a selfish way, it's just because to lead, you must first know yourself and then get ready to love and serve the others.
Very good.
Thank you. Smile. One more smile. Thank you.
So I have to say, Pep is from a region next to Portugal, so he's almost as good as a Portuguese.
And now the third contesting nation, Italy, Laura Dollione.
Hi, I'm Laura and I'm from Italy. For the past 2 months, I've been working in public affairs for a consultancy firm here in Brussels in sustainability. And the word that I've chosen is Lego, like the Lego bricks. I thought of so many words and memories and things and people and moments that I could choose from. But I realized that all of those memories kind of like shaped me, and I could put them together to build a nice Lego figure. No really idea. I don't really know what that is, but what shape it takes, but it's my thing. Anyway.
Thank you. Lila Salo.
Hi everyone, My name is Lila. I'm also from Hungary. And in the last couple of months, I was on a job hunt after concluding my Blue Book traineeship at the Commission. And yesterday, I started my new job at one of the EU institutions. Thank you. So I think you will understand my word is patience, because I learned that it's a huge gift. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So hi everyone, I'm Marton, I'm from Hungary as well. The word I chose is belonging, because in the beginning we all arrived from different backgrounds, we are very different people, but at the end I think we built a community where we all feel that we belong in the Brussels bubble, so I'm really thankful for that, and yeah, thank you for the program as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Mattia. I'm from Italy, and I'm working in communication at the think tank Migration Policy Group. And my work today is team, because we arrived from different countries, but we realized that when we were like working as a team, we achieved bigger things. And thanks to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm second German in the cohort, Pauline.
Good evening. My name is Pauline from Germany and Switzerland, and I've been working at the European Parliament, and now recently I've changed to the Swiss embassy. And my word is community, first of all, because it's necessary and useful for many things in life, but also because it makes everyday life much more enjoyable.
Very good.
Thank you.
We expect Pauline to bring Switzerland to the European Union.
Not less. And a Portuguese, Pedro Furtado.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Pedro, also from Portugal. Prazer. Yes, I came to ELP after some years of experience in local politics in Lisbon and also national politics. And so as such, my word for describing this ELP experience would be indifference, which is a Jesuit term, a Jesuit tool, the English indifference of being capable to discern what is best for our lives and discern between what's an end and a mean. And after these 5 months, with the help of this program and this community, I feel free, I feel ready and capable of choosing what I think it's best for my life. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. And our Global South Fellow, Rashid Adam, can I help you?
I feel lucky. Hi everyone, my name is Adam, and I'm surprisingly the only non-European, so I'm Moroccan. The word I've chosen is thankful. First, I'm thankful because I've got to share this experience within the ELP Fellows, and I feel that I belong. I'm thankful to UXIA and USOS, where I've done my internship, for making me grow professionally and intellectually. And I'm thankful to the JESC and to the ELP for making me grow personally and spiritually. So thank you.
Thank you. Oh, good. Sarah Nato.
Hi everyone, my name is Sara, I'm from Italy, and it's very nice to meet you all. For the past few months, I've been working at the European Commission as a trainee in DG Comp, so I've been working in competition law and enforcement. And the word I chose for today is presence, because DLP taught me how to stay grounded, and the people that know me know that that's very hard for me. And so the most meaningful moments for me happened when I allowed myself to stay present to myself, but above all to my friends here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Tamás. I come from Budapest, Hungary. I've been working as a Blue Book trainee at the European Commission at DG ECHO in the field of humanitarian aid operations. And my word for today is questioning. And I think it's important for two reasons. It's a very nuanced word. It has many different meanings. Two are particularly important when reflecting on my past months. And one meaning is external to me. I've been asking a lot of questions of my fellows and friends, of my coach and my mentor, and everyone around JESC and ELP and everyone in Brussels. And I got a lot of responses. Not yet. And I've got a lot of responses that I can take as building blocks. And I can build my house and my way in front of me from. But it has another meaning as well, and it's internal to me. That's revisiting your own convictions and your own beliefs and getting back to them from time to time. And I'm very grateful for the ELP to helping me, and all the fellows and friends for helping me doing it a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Tommaso Saccone.
Hi, I'm Tommaso from Italy. I'm finishing a PhD on recovery resilience facility and European Commission policy making in domestic policy. The word I chose is growth, because I mean, all the encounters and the speaking night, the coaches and mentors that the program gave us help us to go beyond ourselves, but also because one of the most precious treasure of our program is community and friendship, and that helps a lot us to grow and to flourish. So thank you.
My name is Vanessa. I come from Barcelona, and this month I've been part of the European Consortium of Innovative Universities, working with research, education, and innovation policies. And my word is clarity, because during these months at the ELP, I've questioned myself, I've questioned the world, I've had many doubts, and I finally obtained some answers on the person that I want to be in society and for society.
Thank you. Thank you. Our dancing fellow, Yuri.
Thank you very much. So I'm, as Boton said, I'm neither Hungarian, Italian, or Spanish. I'm the only Belgian in the cohort, and from Ghent, to be more precise. And since the 1st of February, I have been working at the Belgian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I decided to choose the word wind because it is the wind that has the power to blow us in the right direction or to push us away from our path. So in these excruciating hot temperatures, it can manifest itself both as a refreshing breeze or as a threatening thunderstorm. Sometimes we face headwinds and not everything appears as it should. Everything is, however, mapped out in God's plan, and in the end, the reason behind the direction shall be made clear. So I would like to thank God for blowing me in this direction, in the direction of the ELP, and I would like to wish all my fellows a good tailwind in their further pursuits. Thank you.
So thank you for your patience with the handover of the graduation diplomas. I am glad that we have such a full cohort. As you know, this is also my last graduation speech after 15 cohorts. So I am very glad to see the results and the fruits, and also these words of kindness and tenderness that the fellows can address to each other and sometimes to us as well, right, Philip? Deservedly or undeservedly. 7 years is a long time, and I have been around since just before the COVID, which allows me to join their discernment on the go actually every semester. So if I learned something, that was exactly that discernment just never stops in one's life. It's ongoing, and I was challenged by the fellows in many, many positive ways. Faults are always mine, and errors. And of course, the achievements were done together. What was actually very beautiful is that it allowed me to reconsider practically with every personal mission day, you know, the day when the fellows present their 5 months of reflection in one single day to each other and to us. And each occasion when I was listening to their mission discoveries, sometimes more mature, sometimes in the beginning, sometimes rudimentary, but with all the beauty and the efforts that we, I believe, all do put into it, was a reinforcement that I also need to rediscover my mission practically every semester. And you have to understand that this mission sometimes comes and goes, and this time it will call me back to Hungary, to a different Hungary than the last time when I was talking at this graduation. This is beautiful. It will be extremely difficult. I have no doubts that working in today's Hungary or in any other member state with such challenges is not an easy upgrade. Therefore, one of the words that we should have touched, because it is important in the Jesuit vocabulary, is reconciliation. So how we bridge not only South and North, people coming from the South to Brussels, people coming from the East to Brussels, but also just ourselves inside Europe, and where the Deusto people can also understand how Brussels works and how much reconciliation we always need. We have a colleague from the Basque country. So when we start to build trust in a meaningful way, that's always an everyday question. And maybe some of you know, I am son of an orienteering runner. You know those crazy people who run in the forest with a map and a compass, and they have to find these points on a given time. So I was growing up with maps and a compass, you know, that is showing you where is north, where is south, nothing else. And then you have to put it together. And I guess this is exactly the Jesuit leadership, that when you are in the forest, you actually are using the global magnetic field of the Earth for what? To find the next tree, right? So this is the beauty of your abstract values to be applied in your exact next decision. And that is not easy. I believe that it is extremely challenging, because we are used to those films, you know, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and the rest, where it's black and white. And the only exotic character in the middle is when we cannot decide if he's good or bad, right? But life is exactly the opposite. We have lots of golems, we have lots of Python professors and Snape professors, and it's just difficult to decide who is actually the good one or the bad one, because it's not doomed. We have to, and that's my understanding of the 7 years, we have to every day use our compass, maybe a Jesuit compass, to decide when is the next action where you can show light. And that's easy to say, extremely hard to do, especially in a continent where, you know, we are surrounded by wars, famine, and other disasters coming. And while we created peace since the Second World War, this peace is inside, but the EU as a geopolitical project is not anymore only about the inside peace, but about the geopolitical actor that can create and project its will of peace to the outside world. And that will be your challenge. The previous generations did their fair share, but the peace project inside is not enough. So let me finish with one of my favorite quotes. It's from Tom Lantos, a Hungarian Jewish congressman in the US, late Tom Lantos already. He said that the veneer of civilization is paper thin. So civilization can break down extremely quickly, if I want to translate it. And we have seen it in Donetsk, we have seen it in so many places. But actually we can see it in industries with child labor. We can see it in other places when homelessness is just, you know, spreading. And actually we can see it in institutional abuse that you are fighting. Donetsk did not begin with shooting the first bullet. It began with Vladimir Putin overtaking institutions. So your job is actually much earlier than just, you know, going into the black and white fights. Your job is the next day, today, tonight, where we have to stop the, you know, emptying of the civilization around us in this format in Brussels and when and where you are present. So I invite you to discern more, and listen even more, and then we will be all good. Thank you so much. We have 3 more short interventions, so your patience, please. We have Elena Perez, who will welcome the alumni on behalf of the freshly graduated alumni on behalf of the alumni organization. So please.
Dear European Ombudswoman, Teresa Anginio, dear Director at UXIA, Eric Debon, dear Director of JESC, of course, Philip Martins, and our beloved ELP manager, you would call it, Bottom Feledy. Dear fellows, dear guests, friends, family. These days, it seems that foresight has become a buzzword. We read about the need to apply foresight to our policies, to take future generations into account, and to analyze the possible scenarios that our countries, our beloved European Union, and of course our planet, our world, might face in the future. But in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna try, and I would like to take you into a much more personal dimension of foresight, our own scenarios. I therefore invite you to take part in a very mini scenario planning exercise for a few seconds. Looking ahead, 25 years from now, 2051, what scenarios come to mind? Which one do you like more? Which one do you like less? And why? At the end of the day, life is an endless series of scenarios, and we choose through the daily decisions we make. The question here is, how do we make decisions? How do we make these decisions? Good afternoon, my name is Elena Perez Velasco, and I have been an alumni of this magnificent European leadership program for 2 years now. And today I have the privilege to congratulate you, fellows, on behalf of the, I think it's more than 175 alumni, some of them here in the room as well. And I also welcome you to this community. A community of like-minded individuals who are keen to get to know one another better, curious about the societies around us, and committed to asking how we can make this a better world. So I'd like to share with you a few words, also after hearing your words, from these alumni to sum up what the ELP community is for them. So, compassion, service, tolerance, authenticity, perceptiveness, safety, reflection, research, a space where it's okay to be human, adventure, belonging, advent. And I'd personally add one more, journey. ELP is that journey you began 5 months ago, and which certainly does not end today. On one side, I am sure that ELP has brought you closer to 3 Jesuit concepts of great depth, which help you make decisions amidst so many possibilities in such an event-rich world. First, cura personalis, the holistic care of the person, a call of all of us to love others and also ourselves, as the complete gift of life that has been granted to us. Second, Ignatian discernment. Discernment, and more discernment. The spiritual practice of paying attention to the movement of our heart and soul, identifying the thoughts, desires, and emotions that motivate them, and using these insights to make decisions. And of course, the third one, magis, the desire of giving always more, searching for excellence and greater positive impact. Over the past few months, with these tools and shared experiences, you have had the chance to delve deeper into who you are, your talents, interests, and ambitions. You have looked closely at the realities around us and found the spaces where you can truly contribute, in essence, uncovering your vocation. As you take your next steps, I hope you hold very tight onto this. Amidst inevitable moments of uncertainty or disillusionment, just as much as during joys and also milestones, it is worth returning to the reflections that touch your heart, keeping holding on to the greater vision you dream of. Perhaps a fairer system, robust institutions at the service of society, or a more united, peaceful communities. That curiosity you brought to ELP and the excitement I could see on your faces today is something to guard closely, because you truly never know where it will lead. In fact, it could be that the next project that you are assigned might just find itself shortlisted for the European Ombudswoman's Good Administration Award as one of the fellows here. And we are truly incredibly honored to have her here with us to witness the beginning of your next chapter. But as you look to that future scenario we were thinking about earlier, there is also immense value in simply staying present. It is in the quiet coffee with a colleague, in the smile to a stranger on the street, the phone call to family, or also the negotiation of a file that feels utterly endless. That is where life actually happens. Living gratefully in the present, while remaining hopeful for what is ahead. This journey isn't meant to be walked alone. Stay close to those people with whom you were able to be your authentic selves, and get ready to the many others that you have yet to meet, of course, in the alumni community. May the seed that the European Leadership Programme has planted in your hearts continue to grow and multiply within the alumni community and far beyond, so that you may be a light for many others who need it most. Welcome to the family.
Thank you for the warm-hearted welcome, and indeed the 175 alumni of the 15 cohorts will be happy to meet. Philippe, you were not talking too much in the beginning, so I give you the floor.
So just we're coming to an end. Just to explain, we'll finish with Dalibor with a blessing. It's something that we didn't have at the beginning of the program, but there was a moment on the 7th, on the 8th cohorts. Noel Trenner, he was the nuncio to the European Union, and he heard about the project. I cannot remember how he heard about the project. And he called us, so we didn't invite him, he's in the highest spheres, and can I go? He asked, can I go to the graduation? You said, of course, of course. And he said, listen, and don't feel that you're obliged to have me, but I would like to pray for those who graduate. You know, the Irish have this tradition, like with our grandparents, remember? Before we go to a new step, we ask for a blessing. And so it was a beautiful idea. He gave us a blessing in Irish, and then he translated. And so from that moment on, and we'll ask at the end, we'll ask Dalibor, who is the president of the European Jesuits, we'll ask him also to give us a short but meaningful blessing. Just before that, just to say, so there are changes, as I said, in every cohort. There are changes in our organizations. Often it's sad to see colleagues and friends who become friends to leave, and it happens always. And as already Botton said, we have two big changes happening right now in this summer. On one hand, so Botton is returning. I don't know if I can say a joke. No, I will not say the joke. I joke, so we are among family. We finally discover Botton was an Orban's agent. No, it's a joke. To say, and Lucia will be the person taking over. Lucia has been for 2 years the aunt. Lucia has been the small ant, if I can use the expression, when things appear done, we don't know who did it. So usually it's Lucia's fault. And also there's a second, so I'll ask Lucia, can you come? And the second person that we also have a change, it will be Benoit, that I'll ask Benoit to come. So Benoit has been the other Jesuit working with me in JESCO, a team of 8, team of 9. It's always good that there's a second Jesuit, because the first Jesuit is the boss. He has to be mean and to keep things in short. And it's good to have a second Jesuit who makes people believe that we, in the end, are good people. And so Benoit, Botton returns to Hungary, Lucia remains, Benoit goes to Paris, and we have also happily a replacement. So we have Christian, that I also invite to come here. And Christian, a Jesuit from France, thank you. And So, very briefly, we have this tradition in Jesk to those who leave, so that they don't forget Jesk, to offer a Tantan cup. We offer a Tantan cup. So I ask Lucia to offer buttons, and I ask also Christian to offer to Benoit. And finally, because they are not, sorry, just to do it quickly, because this is a special occasion, so usually we don't offer much. Also at Jesk we don't have much funding. But I thought to each one of them we should offer something more. And the first thing is never to forget, even when the moment is difficult, that both of them, they love European Union. And finally, the second gift or the third gift we have for them before the final blessing is also, I think it was today or yesterday, there was this Eurobarometer, how people thought, what people fear. And I found extraordinary because many people in Portugal, around 90%, in spite of all the criticism, how this European Union, this unique construction that we have, people, it's good to be together. So in spite of all the cold, in spite of all difficulties, it's good to be together. So because of that, I also have, whenever they are called, for them to remember it's good to be together. Okay. Okay, thank you. And we just sit and we invite, finally to finish, we invite Dalibor for the blessing.
So, dear friends, dear ELP fellows, graduates, as you know, Jesk is part of the mission of the Society of Jesus in Brussels. And it's a great honor and joy for us that we could walk together with you during this path, this section of your life way, and actually to be with you and to share with you something that we consider precious and important at this stage, at the beginning of your professional career. I use the opportunity to thank everybody who made this program possible. So many people have been involved in ELP from its very beginning. And of course, at this occasion, I thank in particular Boton and Benoit, who are finishing their this Brussels adventure of their life. But of course, new adventure. Tantan is ready for the new adventure that is waiting for them elsewhere in Budapest and in Paris. I have actually got an easy task, as you can imagine, to do the thing that the priest does best, and that's not preaching, but to say a blessing. And blessing is easy because I can say just one word, I can have one desire. It's important that it comes from my heart. And actually, I don't even have to invent it. I can use something that already has been there since a long, long time. And actually, it's also easy for you. You have heard so many wise words, inspirational, and they will work if you remember at least one or two of them. For my part, you don't have to remember anything. It works by its own fact, by the fact that it has been pronounced. So that's the sort of, that's a kind of reality that blessing is. And for this occasion, I have chosen one which is one of the oldest that we still use in our liturgies from the book of Numbers, very old part of the Old Testament. So it is somehow a thing from the past that works, actually, that is happening now in the present, but it is directed, it is intended to change the future.
to accompany you, to stay there. It's there to stay, you know. It doesn't disappear just like that. And these are the words of this blessing. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord look with favor on you and give you peace. 3,000 years, it's still beautiful and it works. Thank you.
So let us close the ceremony. Let me thank you, our great keynote speaker, Teresa Anjinho, with a small gift. There, we will give her this book. Let's see what's her reaction. And finally, let me ask the mentors and the coaches to put up their hands. Please, in the air, mentors and coaches, you as well, yes, please. Now give them a clap because they have been volunteering with us. They have been present in the program, some of them for years, some of them for the last semester, but it's just great to have such companions. Thank you very much. Enjoy the reception and the fresh air. And the fellows are required for a group photo on the stage.
Shall we take a group photo? As for the others invited to start fighting. It's a great book about
Well, you see, I've seen in Georgetown with 150 fellows, they did it in less than 2 hours. So something to learn.
Okay, that was no rehearsal. Maybe that's the best to begin with.
And they all managed to make an individual photo.
Really?
Yeah, but it was really well organized, one after another.
With their resources, I will make it happen.
And
he was very, I have to say, I was moved. So please come on the stage. Fellows, come on the stage. Stella. Come here to the front. Shall we open your space for photos? Come to the back, please. Cotton, come also here. With Teresa, come here.
So, which are you with your is this your second semester?
No, it's my first one, but I was at the previous graduation in the public one.
So, can I hear? Hi. So, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a picture, and then I'm gonna ask you to stay a few seconds to smile and wait for the video. Okay?
You were like my first guest, my first
Exactly. Thank you so much. you so much for your speech.
Yeah, you have to put up with it. Oh, we are traveling as well to Krakow, so we will see each other soon. So okay, now is the time of writing reports and preparing some of the last pictures that have to be done. Yes, but I'm not master of my summer because I have to adapt also because even during the summer there are some events, not heavy, not